Happy Sunday once again. This is Skavatar with week 21 of Midori Minitours. You may remember that a few weeks ago I did a series of other people's OCs that they had submitted to me. This week I concentrated on some of my own OCs, since there's only 7 days, of course. There are many that I didn't get to, but I caught a few that I draw fairly often, a few that I draw less often or haven't drawn in a few years. So let's get started. The first one here is Ran the Kitsune, a Sonic character. They are fairly new. I bought them as an adoptable in November of last year and have been tweaking their design and getting their backstory all together. And I also gave them a hero fly power chow called Berry, who has the blue flame because they're imitating Ron's own Foxfire. Ron is determined to be an apprentice of Knuckles. They ran into him while they were out and about on a survival mission that their village sent them on. They're 10 years old and pretty much all over this. They really admire Knuckles and want to prove themselves and really find their place. The next one is Ilya Ilatovsky. He's primarily used for Mega Man X. He's a X-era descendant of Dr. Cossack, who has been trying to find out what happened to all of the Cossack robots and refurbish them. She's 15, very good with robotics, but mostly good with programming. He starts out as a very nervous, kind of reticent person, but as soon as he's given any kind of attention and affection, he becomes kind of a noxious, mischievous, insufferable genius type. He's a lot of fun to write. He does eventually start gathering his robots back. He's kind of closest to Ringman. They have a very brotherly relationship. Ilya's 15, so he's just out of Ringman's dislike for children, and they're just really close, and it's a really fun dynamic. The next sets are not fandom. Madeline and Xavier Montero Murray, who are demon hunting twins, who also work to protect the supernatural and new supernatural creatures such as newly turned werewolves and vampires. And they are also extremely dweeby people that really just want to play Mario Kart with you. They have a lot of my own interests because you've got to be self-indulgent like that sometimes. Madeline often seems to be less dweeby than her brother, but you shouldn't be fooled, they're both dorks. And the next one is Fathia from another original story. She is a magic researcher in a world where humans are the only sapient species with no magic, and starts running into phenomena that points to a cataclysm that happened early in the setting, and she works as a magic researcher for a prominent university and ends up going out to investigate this with a literature professor for company. That's a story I've been working on for a long time and would like to do more in the near future with. But Fathia is a really fun character, and her cast is a lot of fun to work with as well. Next is one of my main Pokemon OCs, Tuyet Fawn. He has cropped up in these Minitours before. He was in the Rabbit Week, and he was in the Platonic OC and Canon relationships for his his sibling foster brother relationship with Marty and Piers. But I have him here with his main partner Nebula and his service Pokemon Contessa. She helps him with chronic pain, insomnia, that kind of thing. But he's the Galar regional champion in that verse after doing his whole little journey. And he's another really fun character. He's one that's been through a lot of development while RPing with him, which is always fun. He ended up meeting his main traveling group because he's the only one who can cook. He's like full supreme chef, and he's known for having really glitzy Pokemon battles. He likes to wear makeup to match his Cinderace and so on. And then next is Wanda, my Spider-Verse character, since Across the Spider-Verse is coming out next week. She's in a kind of retro future 1980s world. She really likes she's an artist who freelances for the Bugle. She gets along well with the Peter Parker of her universe, who is just some guy. And she is the jumping spider. I modeled her costume after bold jumping spiders with the iridescent down the front and the black and white. She's not one I've had an opportunity to do much with, but she is a lot of fun to draw and work with. So perhaps with Into the Spider-Verse coming out, we'll have more things like the Spider Sona Week that I participated in when I first created her, and get to see more of her. And the last one is my Ronin Warriors Samurai Troopers Hanako. She's a childhood friend of Seiji, and just she's also popped up. She's also in a relationship with Shu, so she popped up in my OC and Canon Romance Week. She's a active, mischievous, really fun sort of character. She's also clairvoyant, so she uses that to cover up her own impulsiveness. So I knew it would be okay, I'm a psychic. And also uses a sword. She can't really compete with the magic armor people, though she does have a few magic abilities of her own inherited from a mentor of hers. She is another one of the oldest characters on this list, alongside the Montero Murray twins, and just a lot of fun to draw. She's one of my go-to drawing characters because her design is really simple and fun to knock out, along with Tweet, but just a lot of fun to work with. I'm really fond of this character, as you should be with your own OCs. Anyway, that is it for this week. I noticed that I forgot Nebula's eye markings, which is one of my favorite parts of Cinderace design, so clearly I'm a fraud. But anyway, that's all for this week. The music this week is Cosmic Star Candy from Daystar, my favorite royalty-free composer. And I have not decided on the new theme. I'm gonna have to decide before tonight when I have to draw it, but have a good week, and we'll see you next Sunday.